Not the episode you were expecting. A stuffed wombat production.
This is the Shirehampton Stuffed Wombat Society with their performance of...
Kindly get on with it, Mr. Announcer.
I'd love to, but there isn't anything to get on with.
What are you on about?
Take a look. See what I mean?
But this is just a bundle of blank pages.
Exactly. I've got nothing to read out.
Is that a problem?
Well, yes. I mean, an announcer with nothing to read isn't really an announcer, are they?
Can't you just make it up?
Oh, no. No. That would be anarchy.
It would.
Absolutely. Imagine if announcers went round announcing made-up things willy-nilly. There'd be chaos.
I really don't think civilization will collapse if...
No. There has to be a script. It's the proper nature of things.
It is?
Everything I say has to be written down and carefully thought through first.
I thought you just made it up as you went along.
Good Lord, no.
I mean, it sounds like you just make it up as you go along.
It does?
Most of the time.
Well, that's probably a tribute to my acting skills.
Oh, yes?
But everything I say has to be scripted. All that, this is the Shirehampton Stuffed Wombat Society stuff at the beginning, and then the scene-setting bit where I explain where Mugg and Zung are and what they're up to.
So that's all written down for you, is it?
Oh, yes. And the stuff at the end where I read out the credits and say something about the sound effects.
I see.
It's not just thrown together, you know.
You could have fooled me.
Pardon?
Nothing. Carry on.
So you see, I need a script, and there isn't one.
Indeed, there isn't. I wonder what happened to it.
Well, I thought you might know.
Me? Why?
Well, in the script, when there is one, you're always described as the author.
Ah, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
But I've read out lots of credits for you as the author.
That's as maybe, but in the script, I'm always called author.
Yes.
Not the author. You see the crucial difference?
Frankly, no.
The author would be the author. Agreed?
Well, yes, self-evidently.
But author is just author.
I may be being slow on the uptake here.
Heaven forfend.
But I can't see any difference.
Well now, let's substitute the word author for something similar. Say God.
God? As a synonym for author? That's a bit grand, isn't it?
Bear with me. Now, if I was the god, I'd be associated with a particular thing, like the god of thunder, or the god of the sea, or the god of those little bits of biscuit crumbs you always find in the pocket of your spare trousers.
Is there a god of those little bits of biscuit?
But...
And what are spare trousers? Surely they're just trousers.
But if I was God, as opposed to the god, then I'd be a sort of overarching, everywhere at once kind of god. Not just a god of odds and sods, so to speak.
I think I'm beginning to be dimly aware of what you mean.
Precisely. As author, I have a kind of universal, all-encompassing role. But I am not the author, as in the author of this particular script.
Right.
So, to answer your point of some time ago, no, I do not know what's happened to this script.
All very illuminating, but it doesn't get us very far, does it?
Well, I could make an educated guess as to what's happened.
Be my guest.
These Mugg and Zung characters, how would you describe them?
Well, that's hard to say, especially without a script, but I think I'd say they were well-meaning, rather stupid at times, with flashes of incredible brilliance, and a propensity for getting into all sorts of unlikely situations.
Much of an ego, either of them?
Oh, yes, definitely. Mugg, for example, wanted to make a Hollywood film of his life story, and Zung got all offended and sulked when he wasn't going to be in it.
Instructive, is it not?
You sound like Sherlock Holmes.
Elementary, my dear announcer. Who normally writes these Mugg and Zung adventures?
Oh, a couple of old gits on the internet. One's vastly more productive than the other, but every now and again a new script will pop up and we all get ready to record it. A few vocal exercises and a squirt of breath freshener and we're off.
And these scripts, what do Mugg and Zung make of them?
Hard to tell. I mean, they're always glad to do them, but I'm not sure I've ever heard them passing comment on them.
Not even behind the scenes when the microphones are off?
Well, I don't hang around for that stuff. I go back to my trailer when they're recording the main body of the adventure, and they call me back when I'm needed to read out the end credits.
That's a pity. You see, I have a theory.
Tell us so, Einstein.
I wonder if... No, it's too absurd.
Go on, tell us.
Well, I just wonder if Mugg and Zung thought they could write their own scripts, better than the ones they were being given by the old gits on the internet.
Yes.
And I further wonder whether they've realised that actually it's harder work than they expected it to be.
Ah.
And in fact, they found themselves with a severe case of writer's block.
Do you know, I think there might be something in that.
Wouldn't be the first time the stars of the show have thought they could produce something better than the writers. Look what happened to Chuckling Charlie Gibbons.
Who?
Precisely.
No, really, who?
Famous, non-existent but legally safe comedian who ruined his career by sacking his writers and turning out his own material.
Oh, him.
And there's plenty more where he came from. So, I wonder if Mugg and Zung have fallen into the same trap, thinking they could outdo their own writers, only to discover that it's actually hard work.
Hence, why I'm standing here at the microphone with a wad of empty pages in my hand, and you're standing there with... Actually, where are you?
I'm all around you, dear boy.
Yeah, don't take this God thing too far.
Fair point.
Anyway, where do we go from here? I can't just stand here recording blank pages of no interest to anyone. Mind you, it's never stopped us so far.
Well, I suppose if I were the author, as opposed to author, I might introduce a sudden and random switch of scene to keep the listener on their toes.
Like that, you mean?
Bingo. Zung! Zung! Wake up!
Is that you, Nanny?
Wake up, you idiot!
I love it when you call me that, Nanny. Can we do cuddles again?
Wake up, you silly sod, before I have to slap you! Ashley, what the heck?
Ow!
So now you're awake.
Mugg, it's you. I was having the most marvellous dream. Nanny was there, and...
Never mind, Nanny, this is urgent. Get out of bed and get dressed.
That's the exact opposite of what Nanny was saying.
Out of bed. Now.
All right, stop pulling at me. These nighttime suits of armour are very delicate, you know. One loose bit of chainmail and the whole thing collapses.
I've got a bone to pick with you.
I'd prefer some scrambled eggs and bacon, if you're asking.
I'm not.
Spot of black pudding?
I'll black pudding you in a minute.
Look, old boy, what's got into you? You've never come bursting into my bedroom like this before. Come to think of it, what are you doing in my house anyway? We don't even live together. How did you get in?
There's a big hole where your front door used to be.
There is? What happened?
I happened. You know that old saying about an irresistible force meeting an immovable object?
Yes.
Well, it turns out the immovable object can be moved into several pieces.
Right.
Better watch out for splinters when you go downstairs.
Mugg, would I be right in thinking that there's some urgent matter you want to speak to me about?
No, I always run around your place at 8 o'clock in the morning, break down your front door and haul you out of bed.
I detect a hint of sarcasm.
Do you know what day it is?
Oh, hang on, I know this one.
Zung.
Give me a clue. What day was it yesterday? I nearly always get it right if I know what day yesterday was.
Zung, today...
Oh yes, it's today. Woohoo! Today is today.
Today's the day we go into the studio to record our latest adventure.
It is?
It is.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
What about the time you were sure Nicole Kidman was flirting with you online and it turned out to be a lorry driver from Aberdeen?
Well, he had red hair.
And a beard.
That's beside the point. I'm absolutely stone cold 100% certain that today is the day we go into the studio to record our latest adventure.
Well, I'm not so sure.
And why would that be, Zung, old chap?
Because normally, a day or so before we record, the script arrives, you know, from those two old gits online, and we have time to read through and rehearse a bit.
And
that's definitely not happened. We haven't received a script.
And why is that, dear Zung?
Well, I suppose the two old gits online simply haven't bothered. Probably been swanning off on holiday or just being lazy. Typical.
Might there just possibly be another reason?
Another reason?
Uh-huh.
Well, I can't think of anything.
Try, Zung, try. Try really, really hard.
Well, the script got lost in the post.
No.
The dog ate it when it arrived.
You don't have a dog.
No, quite. Oh.
Oh?
Oh!
By George, he's got it.
That is to say, I
Yes?
said I would write a script.
You said a lot more than that, old boy.
I don't really remember.
You said you could write a better script than those two old gits online. You said you could knock it out in half a morning.
Yes, it's coming back to me now.
You said that given a couple of days you could bang out 10 scripts that would be better than anything anyone had ever written for us. That would put us on the comedy map and see us showered with awards.
Yes, I did say that, didn't I?
And you went on to say,
oh God,
that from now on you would write all our scripts for us, thereby guaranteeing decades of fun for our audience and a lifetime of work for us. Zung?
I feel sick.
So where, old boy, is the script?
I haven't written one.
I can't hear you.
I haven't written one.
You haven't written one.
No.
You've had months and months, but you haven't written one?
Look, there's no need to go on about it.
Yes, son, there is. Today is recording day. We have the studio booked. The announcer's there. The Tunnocks tea cakes and supply of Twinings have been delivered. All our regular cast are there. They don't even know if they've got a part in the script, but they've turned up anyway, in the hope of a spot of work and a paycheck.
Lummy.
But there won't be any paycheck because there isn't a script. And there isn't a script because Dick Zung has failed to write it. So what happened?
I was ill.
Ill? For nearly a whole year?
I had plongle. Twice. And you know how bad that can be?
Yeah, right. The Black Death with knobs on. Not like you can just nip down to Boots for an ointment to get it all cleared up in a couple of days.
And Ketamine Kenny was away for most of the summer.
In prison, you mean?
And you know how that saps my energy levels?
10 pages, Zung. That's all we wanted. 10 pages of double-spaced 12-point type. If you just wrote a page a day, you could do it in a week and a half. If you wrote 2 pages a day, you'd have it done in 5.
Yes, I am familiar with maths, you know.
Maths. As in 0 script plus 0 script equals 0 script. Thank you, Professor Hawking. The Nobel Prize Committee will be doing the Gay Gordons.
Look, calm down, Mugg. All is not lost.
Oh, yes?
Yes, there's, this. Yes, this. I wrote this.
If music be the food of love, play on.
Good, isn't it?
Zung, this is Shakespeare.
Thanks very much.
No, I mean, this is Shakespeare. It's the beginning of Twelfth Night.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You've just handed me a copy of Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. Second hand, I might add, from the charity shop. Still got the price sticker on the back. Not only that, but it's not even a funny line.
Oh, so comedy has to be funny now, does it?
Put bluntly, yes.
OK, well, hang on, let me see. Yes, there's this. I wrote this.
Here's a card so full of smiles, you'll soon forget your dreadful piles.
Now that's funny.
Oh yes, side-splitting. We'll easily get 20 minutes out of that. I don't think. Actually, who's it for?
Ah, well, I don't know yet. I wrote it on spec. I'm sure someone I know will get piles soon. Possibly even me.
That'll be the least of your troubles if you don't get a script written.
But, Mug, what can I do? I can't knock out a script in no time at all.
You're going to have to. Everyone's at the recording studio ready to go. They're depending on us. Look, get your laptop switched on and we'll brainstorm something together.
You'll help me?
Of course. I should have kept an eye on you before now to make sure you were writing something.
Mug, I could kiss you.
Please don't.
Not even just a little peck on the cheek.
Zung, this is no time for humour. We're trying to write a comedy.
Fair enough. Right, I'm logged in. Give me an opening line.
Right. Well, let's see. We normally start with the announcer. You know, this is the Shirehampton Stuffed Wombat Society and all that stuff.
This is the Shirehampton Stuffed Wombat Society with their performance of... Of what? What are we calling this?
God knows.
God knows?
No, not that. Delete it.
Well, we've got to call it something.
How about, not the episode you were expecting?
Oh, I like that. It's the sort of title that makes it sound like we've thought about it, when in fact we've just made it up on the spur of the moment in blind panic. Not the episode you were expecting. Our story begins... Now, where do we go?
What about our story begins with a mystery about some missing mince pies?
We've done that one.
In a large mysterious house on a small mysterious island?
Done it.
With bombs going off on the planet Bogner?
Done it.
On a path high up in a wooded valley?
Done it.
Looking for the Yeti in the Himalayas?
Did that decades ago.
Crikey, is there anything we haven't done?
This script writing lark is a lot harder than it looks.
I think you've already proved that single-handedly. I suggest we just write down anything that comes into our head and see what happens. Maybe we'll come up with something absolutely magic.
Thanks for making the tea, old boy. Fancy a cup?
Don't mind if I do. Thanks.
Battenberg?
Ooh, tar.
So, how's it looking?
Well, I think we've done okay for half an hour's intense work.
Sort of stream of consciousness stuff.
Stream of something, certainly.
But is it any good?
You know, Zung, now I'm in a more philosophical frame of mind than I was earlier. Sorry about your front door, by the way. I'll replace it for you. I'm feeling pretty happy with what we've produced.
You are?
I am. Not only that, but I feel a lot of what we do in these adventures comes alive in the performances. Something that might look a bit flat on the pages, full of sparkle and bounce, once some top-quality actors were saying the lines.
Yes. That pot of tea you made, did you use the caddy marked Ketamine Kenny by any chance?
Do you know, I think I did. Why'd you ask?
Oh, no reason. Well, shall we have a quick read-through before we go to the studio?
Yes, there's probably just time before the cast get fed up waiting and disappear with all the tea cakes. You can play the announcer and start by saying...
Not the episode you were expecting was written by Richard Hall and starred Tim Reed as author and Timothy Mugg. Richard Hall was the announcer and Mugg Zung. Sound effects were largely underutilised, and it was a stuffed wombat production.